This is ground affected. I took off my serious pants for this video. And welcome to leaving the receipt you needed in your back pocket when you put your pants in the wash. In this video, I'm going to show you how I painted Wanda. This was sculpted by Mega from VX Labs. I will leave a link for this file in the description below. And of course, we cannot carry on with the video until you've done a few things. Those things are, please click like, click subscribe, because if you get through the video and you don't like any of it, you can always dislike it and unsubscribe. But of course, I will promise to make sure that I earn that subscription by the end of this video. This model was requested to me by one of the patrons who actually commissioned the painting of this model. And of course, there was no ways I was going to say no. I really enjoy this model. It's a great looking model and definitely a fun one to paint. If you're new around here, my name is Brent and this channel is designed to help you learn how to 3D print and paint your models in the exact same way that I can. Also, if you feel like you need a little bit more help with your work and you're tired of the stupid comments on Facebook, then the best thing to do is join the Patreon, which gives you nothing. But it actually does give you access to Discord, and that Discord is the best group of painters and printers of 3D things you can find upon the internet. Trust me, I know, because I've been on Facebook and it's friggin' terrible. Enough of this chat, let's get straight on into painting Wanda. So as usual, I use my same primer that I use on everything. At first, I prep the model by sanding it and making sure everything's smooth. Then I use Vallejo surface primer to cover every single part of the model. I make sure that this dries. Usually I like to give this at least a day to dry. Now to start off with the colors, I'm going to start out by using my Fairy Flesh set from Vallejo Nocturna series. This is a skin set that I use in almost all my videos, and it's one of the things that I show how to make the easiest set of skin you can possibly find. As long as you follow the simple steps that I've laid out in previous videos before, you will usually come up with a generally pleasing result. I start out with the darkest color. Technically it's the second darkest color, but we'll call it the darkest for now. And that I'm going to soften off a little bit with the next lightest color, which is a rather caramelly kind of color. This is going to start to create the shadows and the depth that I want in the piece. While those two layers are drying, I'm going to go back into the feet and I'm just going to paint with a contrast paint over the shoes. This is going to be the base coat for the shoes and I need that to dry. So while that dries, I came back to the skin tones again, and you can see me using my airbrush medium in between certain layers. Sometimes with these layers I find it's better to do a rather thin layer, because the thinner you have it, the more you can layer over the top. This gives you essentially more than one color in the airbrush. So technically if you put the straight color in, you're going to spray the straight color out. But if you use a thinner one, you can layer it, meaning that your first layer down is not going to be the color that's in your airbrush. It's going to be the color of the surface mixed with the color in your airbrush. This gives you more options and allows you more control over the color as you build up the highlights. I think the biggest trick with doing skin tones is actually to use thinner paints. The thinner it is, the more control you have over those highlights and where they go, as well as it will help to mask off harsher areas of light that you've been adding as you go along. My favorite trick about doing skin tones is using Grimoire Purple. This is something that I thin down to almost just plain water, and I spray this mostly from the bottom of the piece. This is because the skin set that I use is rather desaturated once all is said and done. So I use that to bring out a little bit more life into the skin. For her eyes, I'm going to start to give it a bit more of a shade, because Wanda has a darker look in her face. So that makeup that goes around her eyes, I'm going to just accentuate it by just making sure that her eyes are nice and dark. For her hair, I'm going to give it a base coat of red leather from Ammo by Mig. This is just a flat base coat, and that's going to need to dry. Back onto the shoes again. Now that they're fully dried, I'm going to dry brush them. I slowly dry brush them just to try and get some of the textures that are on the boots. I start off with a darker brown at first and work my way up to a lighter brown. This is the same color as her hair. It's kind of weird, but it helps to tie everything in. I'm also going to use a really light tan color to just do the laces on the shoes. This is just to try and make them stand out a little bit more. Even though the base coat was already black, I'm going to just go back in and paint the base coat all over again, especially those areas that the overspray from the skin painting had gone all over the parts that now need to technically be black. Around her arms, she's got some wraps that I need to paint black as well, and I will come back later and I will dry brush some lighter colors onto this just to create a little bit of highlight. I will make sure that I go through every single part that needs to be black at this point, making sure that that's fully dried before I come back for the next steps. I slowly mix into the black a little bit of blue, and that's going to be the highlight. Blue is a better highlight than grey because of course that just desaturates. On her hands, I'm going to paint the little nub that holds her magic red, just so you don't see a skin tone piece through the red that I've printed in clear resin. I also sprayed a bit of a translucent glow onto her hand as well. Using a silver, I'm going to paint all the jewelry and the chains that are all across her body. She's got a couple on her arms and 2 around her neck. Then using another contrast paint, which is one of my favorite contrast paints, Flesh Terror's Red, I'm going to paint her jacket. I also used Flesh Terror's Red in her fingernails just so she had some color on them. Now for painting the base, I'm going to start off with my favorite way of painting bases, just splattering colors everywhere. Really, the best way to do bases or rocks in general is never to do them grey. A rock is never grey, and it's never just brown if it's the ground. It's got a lot more colors in it, but for my case, what I'm going to start out with is a light reddish brown, as well as a dark deep brown and a little bit of black and a little bit of this parchment kind of color, and I'm just going to really just smush them about amongst each other. In order to bring some more color into that, I'm going to use a blue shade, Drakenhof Nightshade to be specific, and I'm going to just let that dry and come back with a dry brush of that parchment color again, and then I'm just going to spray very selectively with a brown or a skin tone wash in selective areas just to create a bit more depth. While that dried, I painted the base black and I set it aside so it can fully dry. Once it had completely dried, I came back in and I painted just the rock itself with a flat clear. This is going to just create some texture between the gloss of the base and the rock itself being flat. And of course, while everything's drying, I go back in to paint the rest of the jacket. One thing that's cool about Flesh Terror's Red or contrast paints like this is that it clings really well and it goes into the recesses and almost pre-shades it for you. On her legs, she has a couple of holes in her socks that are on them, and I went in and I just painted skin tone. Essentially, I started with the darker skin tone and I kind of just highlighted that across the middle. Nothing too fancy, it doesn't have to be too magical. No one's really going to inspect each little hole in the stockings. Back into her face again, I'm going to work on that makeup and I'm going to start to make sure that the makeup around her eyes, the eyeshadow, is really predominant. This is something that stands out on the character itself, and I'm going to make sure that it stands out on the model. For her eyes themselves, I'm going to use an off-white and I'm going to paint the base tone of the shape of the eye. I always start out with a black inside first, especially for female faces, as this does give you the eyeliner look that they are wearing makeup. So of course that definitely helps to sell the effect of makeup on a face. For the hair, I'm just going to paint a brown wash over that very carefully, not allowing it to pool anywhere, making sure that it's dry, and then I'm going to dry brush a metallic color over the highest points. The metallic is just going to help bring out those edges. I need to soften the flakes of glitter in the metallic by using that same wash that I previously used and go back in and spray it over the hair. For her eyes, they're kind of a hazel greeny kind of color. So I started out with a little bit of brown mixed into the green. Essentially, it's an off kind of army green, and this is going to be the base of the iris. I then shape that as well as I can, as making sure that they're not looking squint and they look as comfortable as they possibly can look. I'm going to go back into that with the darkest green, and I'm going to just paint within the outer line of that circle that I made for the iris. I'm going to do that 3 times, making sure to get smaller and smaller as I go. I then place a black dot in the center and a white highlight next to that. One thing to note is that before I started to paint these, I did paint a slight off grey, almost a bluish grey into the corners of the eyes, both the inside and outside corner, just to create a bit more depth and make it look a bit more round. Hopefully you managed to pick up something out of this video that will help you with your next project. Of course, we're at the end of the video where you need to do something like click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment in the section below where they allow you a space to leave the comments, and most importantly,
share it with your gram.
But also, at this point of the video, I do need to thank my patrons, and this week we have a couple new patrons I need to thank in this video. Juan Lopez and Craig Robinson. Thank you, my dudes, for allowing me to pay for these lights to continually blind my eyeballs. And of course, if you did manage to make it all this way and you found something you didn't like in the video, I don't know how you made it this far, but it's pretty easy to resolve this issue. All you've got to do is click the little dislike button and then please f*** off. Now I've got to pack this lady up, stick her in a box, get her off to the postman. Thank you for coming. Please come again soon.